Welcome. We are back. What's going on? CPI data came out today. Not bad at all. Ended up with a pretty green day. We had a rough morning and then a very decent rally, V-shaped recovery in the afternoon. So yeah, between premium and outside of premium, I alerted 3 new swings today. We had a couple option trades. I'm going to go over those. Google broke out. Let's get to it all. We're going to be starting off with crypto, then I'm going to move into other markets, then I'm going to talk about the stock market, and then we're going to talk about some individual names. So yeah, to get started with Bitcoin, it tested a breakdown actually of this triangle / pennant that it's been in, but it's gotten back above it, so it's still hanging on within the pattern for right now, so not much of a change there. Ethereum as well, actually going to drop this down a little bit, is still trying to hang on to this support around 1800. So very straightforward day for crypto there. The US 10-year did print a bearish engulfing candle today, which is interesting. You know, even within this longer term bull flag, like you can see right over there, there could be a shorter term triangle forming. I'm going to make this a different color so it stands out. Something like that. So you've got like a smaller triangle forming in there. It's just a consolidation phase for 10-year bonds, it seems like. Moving on into metals, you've got gold, still just kind of holding up after that bull flag breakout, and definitely the same thing for silver. Dollar currency index, I don't know, that this is starting to get a little bit interesting. I mean, you have just a slight bit of hidden bearish divergence on the RSI. This might be a little bit of a bearish pennant forming here at the end of this inverted cup and handle, especially with how the market is potentially trying to break out again. I mean, it's like breakout, breakdown. I'm going to get to that in a second, but this could line up with that as well. Crude oil continuing to bounce back a little bit after putting in this bullish pin bar pretty much off of that 64 support. And then finally taking a look at regional banking. Bearish engulfing candle today, but that classic bullish divergence is continuing to develop. You might actually start to see a little bit of this downsloping channel form over here. So that's really it for other markets. Let me move on over into the stock market, which you did end up closing the day with. I mean, the candle itself is a bullish pin bar. Typically, you want a bullish you want a bullish pin bar like the bottom of a trend. Let me see if I can find one on this chart. It's a little bit tough here. Let's just look at it like this one. Like, you want a bullish pin bar to be something like right over there, at the bottom of a trend, not really kind of in the middle of a consolidation phase. It just kind of takes away the meaning of it. But just looking at the psychology of the candle, you did reject lower prices pretty heavily by bouncing up later in the day, which is pretty good. But the overall stance is still the same. I was just talking about this when we were looking at the dollar currency index consolidating in this triangle. You've also got the SPY continuing to develop within this range. It's been in this range for over a month, almost a month and a half now, and we're still within it. So really all we can do as traders right now on higher time frames is just use little probabilities to help determine whether or not we're going to break this in a certain direction. But the easiest thing to do is just wait to see whichever way this actually does break. It's just been a little bit tough because you get these fake outs on both sides. It's a very stable market, which sounds weird, but the bulls or the bears, neither one of those are really winning right now. And then on lower time frames, on the 4-hour, you're still within this bearish butterfly. I don't know why that took me so long to figure out. And you started off the day with a bearish engulfing on the 4-hour, but pretty decent bounce back on the second 4-hour candle. Going down to lower time frames. This one's weird because there's 2 different ways you can do this again. It's a coin flip. But one way to view this is like an inverse head and shoulders like that. That's your inverse head and shoulders look to it. But the other way to view it is a regular head and shoulders, which is something like this. So again, it just comes down to which way you break the range first. If you want to look at the intraday price action from today, let's see. You started up with a gap up, had a quick move at the open, then you sold off for the first couple hours of the day, and then in the afternoon you pretty much put in this 15-minute doji candle and reversed off of that back up into this resistance zone I have on the 15-minute. You can see how well that's been respected multiple times in the past few weeks. And that's where you topped out to close the day with a 15-minute bearish engulfing candle heading into tomorrow. Moving over into the Qs, continuing to go higher. This is your highest close on the Qs since August 18th of last year. So pretty nice move. I guess you still are within this rising wedge, so you're kind of at the top of this wedge. But again, this could break up, because if we take everything off of this chart for a second, you're starting to uptrend. You broke above that resistance level, and now, especially if we zoom in here, 321.64. Look how it was highs of the day over there, highs of the day over here. Now the past few days, that's been your low of the day. Very nice, very small support resistance flip. You really have to zoom in to see it. So I'd still say it's okay, regardless of, I feel like that wedge is kind of the only bearish thing. This chart's really starting to outperform the SPY, the Russell, maybe not the ARKK, that's starting to play catch up, but very nice movement so far on the QQQ over the past few days. And if we go down to lower time frames, you can again see you got a nice 4-hour bullish engulfing candle, which you did not get on the SPY, but you did get on the QQQ to break out of this. And if we go down to the 1-hour time frame, this is something I was sharing in the Discord. What you're doing right now is you have a break, hook, and go of this right angle descending broadening wedge. So very impressive movement here. The next level I have on the 1 hour is 328.91, which kind of lines up with these highs over here. But if we really zoom in, it is a gap fill from your gap down on August 19th of last year. And you're pretty much clear until then in terms of levels. There's not much there. That is about another 1% higher. So we'll see if we can get there. Moving on to the ARKK, this one's really starting to catch some movement after breaking out of that downsloping channel. And as of today, you got a doji candle testing the 200-day moving average. So just wait to see which way that breaks. Every single day I stream. The second I go live, I have to sneeze. I don't know why. I haven't sneezed all day. But that's really it for the ARKK. You've got the Russell 2000 still looking like a little bit of an inverted cup and handle. But again, on patterns like this, it doesn't really matter until you actually break down. It's not even technically a real pattern until you break down from it. It's just a potential pattern. So we will see whether or not that breaks down. I guess if we were to take everything off, this could also be looked at as maybe a little bit of a triangle breakout starting to be tested. So again, multiple potential views there. And that's really it for the market. One thing I actually want to look at, which we haven't in a while, is the VIX. I got a wedge breakout, got a nice little move up here, but at this point, it's now starting to form and might even be breaking down from a bear flag, which of course would be good for the market. So it'll be interesting. Let me delete this previous wedge. If that bear flag plays out and it somehow gets you under this zone, we'd be breaking this range we've been in since the COVID crash, quite literally. Since the COVID crash, the VIX has been in this range between 16 and about 36. It's about a 20-point range. And this bear flag could, I don't know how that just happened. How did I do that? I want to do it again. That's actually a pretty cool shortcut I just used. I don't know how I did that. But that could break you down from this. That could set up a huge rally in the stock market. And assuming if that broke down, then the SPY would probably break this range to the upside. So we will see what happens there. Moving on to the swings. Let's talk about the new one first, which is Netflix. It's already up a little bit, but yeah, this triangle has been forming since last October. It's a huge pattern, almost a year long, about 2/3 of a year long. And as of today, it's testing a breakout. Earnings are already passed. It's uptrending. It's past the 200-day moving average. And if you want to put a level on this chart, you can see it actually not only broke above, but spent the last 2 days flipping 329.14 into a support level, which is very, very key. You can see that was resistance here, and support over here. I think it was also something in the past. Kind of some support and resistance from over here. So this is the new one. The first target I put pretty much around these highs at the top of the pattern. The second target was the exact high of that wick pretty much. And then the third target, if we zoom out over here, is these highs back from 2018. So that's the new Netflix swing. We'll see what happens. I was alerted today. Then you've got Fisker, pretty much the same as what I talked about last night. It's in a range between 560 and 650. Whichever way that breaks should be telling. As of today, it's still holding above that demand line on the 4-hour. It's closer to breaking out than breaking down, if that means anything. So it's just a question of, can it get another 3-4% higher, which would be absolutely huge. If the first 2 times it tested it, it didn't break it. The third time, if it tests it, with good volume, you could get a very good chance of breaking that, especially with the potential for North American car delivery approval next month. So we'll see. That was something they mentioned in the earnings report we looked at on last night's stream. Then we've got AI, which is sitting right at the first target of the swing. Again, these were all alerted for free. Link for that's in the Discord. And yeah, you're sitting at the first target of the swing, like literally close at it almost to the cent. That is pretty much retesting these previous lows. There's really nothing else to say on the daily, even on the 4 hours. It's just a make or break area. You're testing a make or break area for AI. However, one thing I didn't even really talk about, let's go over to the weekly. And this is, I'm just using the weekly because all my other charts are filled. Of course, it's probably look better on like a 1 hour or 4 hour chart. But this sets up the potential for Wyckoff accumulation. If you see the weekly chart on AI, and of course all the hype is around AI right now, just in general, not just C3 AI, but artificial intelligence in general. You saw something happen with Google, which we're going to talk about in a second. This kind of shows some potential schematics of Wyckoff accumulation. Previous resistance flipped into a support. You had an up thrust over here. This is a potential spring. So if you can reclaim that level and get a little bit of a retest, that could shoot you right back up to at least the top of the range. So this is something to keep a very close eye on.
That just as you don't know.
All right, moving on to space, making a nice move. It's kind of had a very volatile past few days. Bullish engulfing candle today. I pretty much already marked this green as it went right up to about the first target of the swing. Nothing apart from that has really changed. On lower time frames, you might have a little bit of a triangle forming though, which would look something like that. That would be your triangle on Virgin Galactic. And then we have GM continuing to backtest the breakout of this falling wedge. So that's just a small update there. But again, if there's any swing apart from the new one on Netflix today that I think is really showing some development, it's the GM swing. And then this is the one I'm really excited to talk about. Actually, we're going to get to that last. We're going to talk about Amazon next, which also did something really nicely. Let me move this over to the side. Gapped above the 200-day moving average. When you put a level right here, that 110.6 level, what you could see was lows over here. And then this high from April 27th, you're retesting that level. If that breaks, there shouldn't be any issue getting to the first target of the swing, which is pretty much these highs from February 2nd. So nice little update there for Amazon today. And then the big one, Celsius with a huge move today. Very, very impressive. Celsius, strong first quarter, shows Pepsi partnership off to a good start. And of course, Pepsi is probably the biggest company in the world for drinks. I don't know if I can think of any company that's bigger. They own a lot of snacks and stuff too. So very, very nice movement today. They invested about $500 million into Celsius last August. Their market share is approaching 10%, which really very low amount of energy drink competitors have managed to break, as you can see over there. I actually had my first Celsius today. Let me pull it up really quickly. There you go. Had my first one today. It was good. I have a very high tolerance for caffeine. I don't know if this one had caffeine or not, but I didn't really feel like more energized or anything. But I would drink it again. The taste was nice. And yeah, big move for Celsius. It's already passed all the targets at the highs of the day today. It was up about 50% since the alert. And it was just beautiful. Like literally all this has done since the swing alert in the Discord, and I'll show it to you right now. As you can see, it's right over here. April 19th, just a few weeks to go. 21 days to go exactly. It's just literally gone straight up. You can see I literally right here, the first time it tested that falling wedge breakout. And that is April 19th right there. Right over here. And all it's done is just go straight up. Beautiful swing, one of the nicest swings of the year so far. So nice updates there. Also today you had Roblox go up about 7%. This is something I do want to talk about, because if we look at it like this is actually a previous swing which hit 2 out of 3 targets and then came all the way back down to where I alerted it. But now it broke out of this wedge and it's trying to take out the 200-day moving average. Quick curl on the RSI and a MACD crossover to green. Pretty interesting. And then you've also got, there's one more I was talking about. I sent this in the Discord earlier. GameStop, another one, which hit like, let's see, that hit 3 out of 4 targets on literally the first day of the swing, came back down to almost where it was alerted, and then now it's showing some new variables with hidden bullish divergence and a wedge breakout. So nice moves there. And then the title of the stream, Google. This is actually a premium swing. It already hit the first target, and it spent the last few weeks consolidating there. It actually started to develop a little bit of a bullish pennant, as you can see right over here. Well, that's not the best way to do it. Now I'm moving everything. Had a bullish pennant, and then today broke out. You also had a little bit of kind of hidden bullish divergence. It's only one MACD island right there, or one bar on that MACD island. But breakout today for Google. A lot of people talking about this. If we really take this zone back, you can see how important this breakout is. It was resistance here, support throughout all over here, support right here, resistance here, resistance in the past month, and today you broke out of it. And let's take a look at the headline. Let's see if I can get a good headline from all of these. Google says search enters a new era with conversational AI features. Of course, when ChatGPT started going viral and all these other AIs, a lot of people are saying Google's done. You know, nobody wants 1,000 different links to pop up when they ask a question. They want a straightforward answer with high accuracy. But Google had their keynote, and they unveiled conversational features for its search engine and made its chatbot Bard widely available for English speakers, a show of force as it races Microsoft and a growing number of startups to win over consumers with AI products. This was probably a large factor as to that afternoon rally we saw in the stock market. So it's called Search Generated Experience, that uses AI programs to provide lengthier summaries in response to a range of queries. The features invite follow-up questions, opening a new interface, allowing users to hold conversations with the search engine. Let me just say this. Google has been the #1 search engine for probably 15 years at least. And they have the money to probably also be winners in the AI space, in my opinion. They have so much data. Their bread and butter, of course, YouTube has been a great purchase for them. I think it was back in 2008 or something. And of course, Android has done well. I think it's like the largest amount of phones in the world are on Android. Even apart from those things, their bread and butter has been search. So I think they could do very well in the AI space. We will see. And that is Google. So pretty much that is about it for today. Now I just want to look at a few other things. LI did have a nice kind of ascending triangle breakout on earnings. That is something I did send the watch list to premium members today. And another just look at this Lucid wedge is just a little stream secret we've been keeping for right now. We'll see what happens. Lucid's still in that wedge, classic bullish divergence past earnings. Just a couple more things I wanted to talk about. The day after earnings for CLOV pretty much held up, and what I really like here is how that exact level I talked about last night on stream, 86 cents, was back tested today successfully. Another small, very important update for CLOV right there. AMD, that wedge, this is another stream gift from a few weeks ago, broke out. And what level did I talk about last night on stream? It's obviously psychological, but even a historical level. $100 pretty much went up to test that today with the shooting star candle at the close, starting to lose volume. Could be time for a little bit of a pullback here. Apple up another 1% today after breaking out of this much longer term bull flag. It's continuing to go higher and higher. You got a little, let's go into the 1 hour chart. You got a little 1 hour pennant forming on Apple right now. So just see which way that breaks. Let's take a look if there's any differences on the Meta wedge. That also is getting close to testing a breakout. Another update there. NVIDIA on the 1 hour is showing a cup and handle. There you go. And then your resistance would pretty much be that. Let me actually set up some alerts on some of these names. There's my NVIDIA alert. There's my Meta alert. There's my Apple alert. So big updates there. And then 2 trades today from premium. First was mine, which was a lot quicker. But literally I saw this bull flag over here, and I alerted calls on Shopify right at that breakout. And I even put in a message saying that I scaled most of my position out once we were right at this little previous high level. And that's literally it. This was a trade for the most part. But even on the 15-minute, unfortunately the 15-minute did not play out. There was that inverse head and shoulders, which at least gave me a little bit of a stronger probability to alert it and be in it myself in the first place. So that was interesting. And then Zeke, who actually has his own channel, which started this week in the Discord, alerted, let's see, was it SPY or Qs? It was SPY puts, had this triangle in the beginning of the day. I don't know if I still have it saved on my chart. I don't think I do. Let's see if I can find it. This was pretty much it. So Zeke alerted this triangle right over here for puts. The exact move I played was literally I got into puts right over here myself, and then I took my profits at the bottom of that candle. It was a 60% win for me personally before rallying back up to the VWAP. I was actually, when it rallied back up to the VWAP, I was literally watching it and I was thinking about getting back into puts, and I missed it. But I ended up finding shop calls around these lows, which obviously that rally kind of helped. So it actually was around those lows. Let's see, that was around 1 o'clock. Shop was an hour before that, so not really there. I guess it just kind of held by itself. So there you go. That's the recap. I was like, why is it like so bright now? That's the recap of the day. I know it's a much smaller crew in the stream tonight because I don't really ever stream at this time, so I'm going to try and build it into all of your schedules as well. This should pretty much be the time I stream every night. I'm assuming most of you are going to be watching the replay as you're probably getting home from work or something. So if you're watching the replay, I hope that you enjoyed the video. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. To Strom, Linta Glenn, Papa Strada, Mr. LinkedIn, and D, thank you for being here live. And check out all the links in the description. Have a great night. Join the Discord, links in the description, and I will see you tomorrow.